Hi, friends. Today I'm here to talk about what to do if you hate your job. This is such a common experience. And if you don't like your job, we spend so much of our lives, so much of our time at work. It can really have a bigger impact on the rest of your life, on your relationships. And we don't want that. So I'm going to give you some practical tips. I'm also going to give you some kind of like a little bit of a manifestation hack as well as some more mindset work and some deeper work as well, that any one of those things is going to help you to have a better experience in your job, right? Because it's one thing to say, just go out and get a different one. Well, maybe, but not always, right? Because firstly, sometimes it's hard to find another job, especially if you're in a particular industry. Secondly, sometimes that's not it. Sometimes, right, you leave one job because you've got the micromanaging boss. You go into a different job, it might be great, but then you get a different manager and they're micromanaging you as well. So often when we find ourselves in these interpersonal dynamics with people, there is a deeper thing going on. And once we resolve that within ourselves, then it is not even an issue anymore. So we'll get to that in a moment. But let's just talk about finding another job. So if you are actively looking for another job, you need to believe that it is possible for you to find another job and for you to find a job that is everything that you want, right? Because if you are thinking, oh, it's going to be so hard, I'm not going to find it, like in this employment market, in this economy, blah, 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 all of the reasons why you can't, all of the reasons why it's going to be hard, all of the reasons why it's not going to happen, then it's probably not, right? This is both mindset and also manifestation. I have a story in my podcast. I'll actually post a link to the episode below if you want to hear it. This is from a guest that I had on who she was just like basically traumatized from one of the other jobs that she had had, where just like all the dynamics and all of the things. And then she needed to get another job after COVID. And she really, really worked on her belief of what was possible. And she manifested the perfect job, right? So think about all of the things that you want and really believe that you can call that in. Okay. So that's one thing. The second thing is, again, we spend so much of our time at work. So if you're at work for 8 hours a day, maybe longer, right? You've got maybe a little bit of time before work, maybe depending on whether you can get up earlier and do things or whatever responsibilities you have. And then you've got what, like 5 hours of home time, and then you're sleeping. And then the weekend. So the majority of our waking hours are spent at work. So something that I found really helpful was that when I was doing things outside of work, so for example, if I would do things in the evening after work, whether that be go to a fitness class, whether that be go out to the theater, movie, see friends, doing something out and about, that really shifted my perception of what I was spending my time doing, right? Because for most of us, it's like, well, Monday I went to work, Tuesday I went to work, Wednesday I went to work, Thursday I went to work, right? And it's just this like, or like I went to work and then I came home and I watched a box set, I watched Netflix. That doesn't really count for what I'm talking about, because those things, like when we're watching things, like it kind of puts us into this disassociative state. So what I'm really trying to do is encourage you to do something that where you are out in the world interacting, right, outside of the ordinary, outside of your home environment, outside of your work environment, because then it shifts from Monday I went to work, Tuesday I went to work, Wednesday I went to work, to, oh yeah, Monday I went to the theater, Tuesday I went home, Wednesday I had dinner with this person, and things like that, right? So then you have these other like anchor points or stop gaps throughout your week. Now, obviously that depends on your other responsibilities and commitments, but I found it really, really helpful. Just that simple thing of kind of filling up your time with things that you enjoy doing made a huge impact. The next thing I want to talk about is why you don't like your job. And I really encourage you to actually just write a list of all the things that you hate about it, so that then you can know what you can address, which is really kind of what we're talking about now. So maybe you're like, ugh, my coworkers are low vibe, like there's no leadership, management sucks, my boss is a dick, like whatever it is. Write all of those things out. Let's go through all of those things if I can remember them. So if your coworkers are like low vibe and you just like don't gel with them and you're like, oh gosh, I just feel like so kind of isolated, how can you shift that dynamic, right? Interpersonal dynamics are a dance. If you change the dance, then the dance will change, right? It takes two people. So how can you maybe talk about things that you are interested with them? How can you maybe be more friendly? How can you be a better team player? Oh my God, I can't believe I just said that. Blah. But if you feel like there's no kind of like team environment, like how can you be a better team player? Because when we are shut down and in this state of like, blah, I hate it, we're not really showing up for the things that we say that we want. So because of this, you actually might not be a team player. So you're also not helping to create the situation that you want to be in. So how can you be more cooperative? How can you engage more? How can you find common ground, common interests? Like I get it. Some people are just boring and not interesting and like you don't want to talk to them. I get it. But I believe that we can learn something from everyone as much as sometimes we don't want to try. And we're all humans, right? We all have this shared human experience. And sometimes the lesson can just be having compassion and being able to tolerate other people and being able to find common ground with other people. The other thing I think I said was about leadership. If you're like, there's no leadership here, maybe this is an opportunity for you to show some leadership. Maybe once you step up, then other people around you will. The other thing is with something like leadership, sometimes we are projecting our own need for internal leadership onto others, right? It's like, I just want someone to tell me what to do. I just want someone to keep me safe. I just want someone to lead the way. So if this is resonating, what is it that you're looking for and how can you bring some more leadership into your life? So if you want to get into that, you can book in a free 15-minute call with me via the link below, just because it's a little bit complicated and personal to get in over here. But the last thing that I want to say as well about these kinds of dynamics is if your boss is micromanaging you or you have some kind of tricky relationship, again, what is that bringing up in you? What is that triggering you? Often our relationship with authority is to do with our relationship with our parents, right? When we are having an authority issue, it's bringing us back to us as children, us as teenagers, where we're rebelling, right? Where we are not having it. And so you have an opportunity to reconcile this part of you, this younger part of you that is resisting, that is fighting. And once you do that, then you will not even have an issue with your boss anymore. I can promise you that. Last thing that I want to say is, so we've got the list of all the things that you hate about your job. Now I want you to write a list of all of the things that you want out of a job. Like what would be your ideal dream job situation? And once you've done that, this probably won't apply to every single thing on this list, but how can you create that? Maybe it's a better work-life balance. As I said at the start, the doing more things out of work. It might not be about reducing your work hours. Maybe it's about having more life in your week as well as work, so that you're not just like clawing your way through the week, getting to the weekend when then you can live your life. When you're thinking about the kind of environment, as I said before, like how can you contribute to building that? What is it that you can do? Also, if you're feeling undervalued, how can you value yourself? This comes back to that inner work where once you start to shift things inside, it does not matter what is going on outside of you, right? And that's the beauty of deep coaching transformational work, is that like we just like tinker everything inside and then like we don't give a fuck about what's happening outside of us. So that's why it's so powerful and so beneficial, and why I'm sharing this with you guys. So I think that's everything that I had to say. Let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if there is something that you are going to do to implement these, any aha moments. Give me a subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I'm sending you lots of love and I will see you next time. And for you to find, sitting on my microphone,